Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Physio in Australia. Today we're going to talk about standard assessment pathway for overseas qualified physio in Australia. So let's get started. So first of all, if you're thinking that what is standard assessment pathway and who needs to go through it, and if you don't have a basic idea about it, let me talk about it first and then we can proceed with the step-by-step process you need to follow in order to get your registration done. So standard assessment pathway is for people who has got their degree in physiotherapy from overseas and now they want to work in Australia and register themselves in AFRA. So let's say you have done your bachelor degree or a master degree from India, but now you want to come to Australia and work as a physio, and then you can go through the standard assessment pathway and register yourself with AFRA. Other way to start working in Australia and register yourself, you can study in Australia. Maybe you can study a bachelor degree or a master degree in a physiotherapy, and then you can register yourself. So either you can go for study, but if you say if you have already got degree from overseas and you don't want to again study in Australia, then you can go for a standard assessment pathway. Let me take one example that you have completed your 12th degree in overseas country, but now you are planning to become a physiotherapist, but you want to go to Australia. Then you can take any courses in physiotherapy. Let's say you are taking Bachelor of Physiotherapy in Australia and complete your bachelor degree in Australia, and then you can register yourself and start working as a physiotherapist. But those people who have already completed physiotherapy in other country and now they are willing to settle in Australia or willing to work in Australia, then for those people they have set this standard assessment pathway through which they need to go step by step, and afterwards they can register themselves and they do not need to go for studying here in Australia. So that is the thing, that it is for people who have already got their degree and now want to settle in Australia. So now let's get started with our standard assessment pathway step-by-step process, and at the end of the video hopefully you will understand that what is the steps that you need to follow. So let me just briefly elaborate all the steps and then we will talk in detail about all the steps. So first step in standard assessment pathway is eligibility assessment. So that is our first step, and second step will be to complete our cultural safety training program, and then third step will be that you would be getting interim certificate from APC. That will be our third step, and fourth step will be to go for a written assessment, and the final or last step will be our clinical assessment. And after you complete this all 5 steps, you can register yourself with AFRA and then can start working as a registered physiotherapist. So these are the steps 1 to 5 you need to go through, and now we will talk in a little bit of detail about what are the steps is, so you have better idea about it. So let's start with our first step. Our first step is I mentioned, which is our eligibility assessment. So now let's talk about a little bit about it. What is eligibility assessment? So eligibility assessment, you can think by the name saying that they are checking your eligibility they are checking your eligibility. So basically they are trying to see that before we let you sit in the exam, are you eligible or not. So we can consider in that way that they are checking our eligibility to sit for the exam. So before making it confusing, let me tell you in a straightforward way, saying that eligibility assessment is nothing but you need to submit the required document to APC. Now, what is APC? If you don't have idea, then APC is stand for Australian Physiotherapy Council. So full form is Australian Physiotherapy Council, which is APC. And basically APC is we can say a body which take care about all this process for overseas qualified physio. So we are submitting our documents to them, we are applying for our written assessment or our exams or anything which is related to all these steps. It all goes to APC. So basically they handle everything about the different process we will be going through to get our standard assessment done. So now I will be using APC only. So APC, so in eligibility assessment you need to gather all the required document which is needed by APC, and then you need to submit it online. So you do not need to worry about being present in Australia. You can submit all those things while you are overseas as well. So don't worry about it. If you are now at the moment, if you are not in Australia but you are at your home country, but you are planning to come to Australia, maybe you are waiting for your visa, or with any reason you are not present in Australia but you are willing to go through this process, then you can do these steps while you are in overseas as well. So some of the steps you cannot do while you are overseas, but we will talk about it later. But this step definitely you can do while you are in overseas as well. So you need to submit the required document to APC, and once you submit it, afterwards you will get a link by mail only. You will get a link to complete cultural safety training program. So basically what we did, that we gathered all the required document and submitted to the APC through mail, which is online. We are submitting it online, and then APC they will give you a link. They will send you a link by mail to complete that cultural safety training program. So cultural safety training program will be our second step, or next step after you submit your documents, which is eligibility assessment. So now let's talk about our second step, and which is cultural safety training program. So a little bit of idea about cultural safety training program is that basically it is a way through which they are trying to let us know that you need to be aware of cultural ideas, that you need to follow certain rules and regulation, or maybe you need to have basic ethical idea about different people in Australia. So if they are Aboriginal people, or they are people are from different culture can become to you, so you need to respect every culture. So that is cultural safety training program. Right now in this video I'm not going to go in detail for any of these things, but just giving you basic idea, so that you know that what are the steps you will have to go through if you are looking to go for the standard assessment pathway. So in standard assessment pathway you got a link from APC to complete this cultural safety training program, and you completed, let's say you completed this cultural safety training program, and you need to submit it to APC again once you complete it. In cultural safety training program you need to get 80% to be able to successfully clear it. But do not need to worry, because they send you a link to go through it, and then afterwards you can do the exam of cultural safety training program and get your required 80%. So it is not that difficult, but you need to get 80% and submit it to APC again. So that was our second step, and now you need to wait for APC to assess your all the documents you have sent, and look at the cultural safety training program that you have applied 80% and you have successfully completed it. And afterwards they will issue an interim certificate to you after assessing all the required document and cultural safety training program. Assessment APC will send you interim certificate. So that is our third step. So basically I mentioned that third step is to get our interim certificate, but in actual it is not a step that you need to do anything with. Basically APC is going to send you this interim certificate, but why I mentioned interim certificate as a third step, saying that you need to get your interim certificate, then only you can go for written assessment. That's why I have included this interim certificate as a third step, so that I can tell you that after you get your interim certificate, which is our third step, then you can go for our fourth step, which will be to go for written assessment. So let's again talk about all these things, saying that let's say for my first step to get my eligibility assessment done, I submitted all the documents, so that was my first step. And then APC sent me a link to complete my cultural safety training program, which was our second step. And then you completed the cultural safety training program and you got 80% and send it to APC, so that was our second step. And after assessing all these documents which you have submitted to APC, they will issue an interim certificate to you, which is our third step. So I hope up to now you have got the idea what I'm talking about, and now we will talk about fourth step. So let's say you have got your interim certificate. Now you are eligible to apply for your written assessment, and that will be our fourth step. So what you need to do in fourth step, so you got your interim certificate. Now you need to go to the APC website. Well, you do not need to worry much. Once you go through this website, you need to register yourself, and then there will be a dashboard, like you need to log in. You will have your login details, and once you go to this website, you will be directed to your dashboard. So that will be your dashboard through which you will be going through all this process step by step. So now let's say you got your interim certificate. Now you can log into your dashboard, and then you can apply for your written assessment. Now let's say if you are wondering that what is this dashboard and everything, so let me talk about it a little bit, saying that when you go to the website for the first time, and if you are willing to submit your documents to this APC through mail, and I mean basically you are starting your process, at that time you will have to register yourself, and you will get your ID, which will be specific to you, and then you will have to register yourself. So you will register through your email, and you will set a password. So basically it will be specific registration for you. So you will have to go through all this process through that dashboard only, that you can check your results and you can look for the process or everything you can look. And if something is in process, then you can go to that website and even check as well that where is the process going on, or everything that and you can download your interim certificate. Once they have issued you need to go to the same dashboard which is specific to you, and then you can download the interim certificate from that. So don't worry much. Once you start this process, you will have everything in a way that you will know everything. So let's again go to where we were, saying that you need to apply for now written assessment. So this is our fourth step. So for written assessment, so what you need to do. So in written assessment, as I mentioned, that you have your dashboard, you need to log in, you need to go to your dashboard, and then you can choose the date which you want to go for your written assessment. So now let's talk a little bit about what is written assessment. So as the name suggests, it is nothing but a written assessment or written exam that you need to write the answers. There will be set of questions, and you need to it will be objective assessment basically. So there will be four answers, and you need to choose which is correct answer for the question. And it is similar that we are doing our exams like written assessment. So you need to prepare first. Definitely, you're not just once you get your interim certificate, you are not just going to, oh, let me just choose the date and go for it. I mean, you need to prepare first before you go for the written assessment. So depends on your timing and your different other commitments, you can think that where I would be ready to go for exam, and then you can apply for written assessment. Generally you can apply 3 months before the exam date. So don't worry much, you take your time, and based on what you think and what your commitments are and how much time you get for preparation, you can decide afterwards that where I would be willing to book my exam for written assessment. And in that way you can apply for written assessment, and once you are ready or you have booked your exam, afterwards on a specific date where your exam is, you need to sit in the exam, and then you can go for this written assessment. And so that was our fourth step. So now let's talk about the fifth step. So the fifth step is our last step, which is clinical assessment. So again, as the name suggests, clinical assessment is they are assessing your clinical judgment. So basically you are not sitting in the exam and writing the question answers, but you are performing. So they are checking your clinical abilities, that if patient comes to you, how you will treat them and everything. So in other words, we can say it is our practical exam. So it is not a written or theoretical exam, but it is our practical exam. So our fourth step was our theory exam, we can say, but the last step or clinical assessment or final step is our practical exam. So again, let me mention that you cannot jump around the steps. You need to complete first step first in order to be able to go for second step, and then only you can go for third step and fourth and fifth. So please don't forget these things. You cannot jump around. You, let's say, first of all you need to gather all the documents and send it to APC, then only you will get a link to complete your cultural safety training program. You cannot think saying that, oh, by the time that I'm gathering the documents, let me complete the cultural safety program. No, it is a step-by-step process. So once you submit your documents, then only they will send you a link to complete the cultural safety training program. And let's say you go for cultural safety training program and get 80 percentages, and then you submit it to APC. Then only after assessing your documents and altogether your cultural safety training program, they will issue interim certificate. So if someone is thinking that, oh, I already know everything, I have basic knowledge and I'm really good at academics, I have already prepared everything, I don't want to wait, and I want to do everything simultaneously so that I can complete this process very quickly. Well, unfortunately there is nothing like that you can do with. So you need to go step by steps only. So once you get your interim certificate, then you will get then you will be able to go for your written assessment. And again, same with that, that if once you get your written assessment result, and if you successfully clear it, then only you can go for clinical assessment. And let's say someone is thinking that, well, I'm not good at written exam, but I'm really good at practical exams, so I want to jump to the practical first. And well, no, you need to complete your written assessment and you need to clear it successfully. What I'm trying to say by that, that clearing successfully means that you need to pass it, you need to pass that written assessment, then only you can go for clinical assessment. So, and that is the way only. So you, let's say you completed the written assessment, which was our fourth step, and we talked about it. Now let's talk about final step or the fifth step. So let's say you go for written assessment and hopefully, or you have passed it. Now you can go for clinical assessment. So how it works, so let's talk about it. So clinical assessment is also same, the process will be same like we did in our written assessment, that you need to go to the dashboard and then apply for clinical assessment. But again I will repeat that you need to pass the written assessment, then only you can go for clinical assessment. So you need to go to the dashboard and book for your exam for clinical assessment. And same thing here will be that you need to first practice, and once you're ready, then you should go for choosing the date. But if you are not ready, then you should wait, because it is not that easy, or I mean you need to have basic idea at least first, and then you should be going for exam. And that's why I would suggest that if you have cleared the written assessment successfully, but if you don't have any basic idea about how things work in Australia, how they are assessing healthcare people, and any knowledge if you don't have, or if you don't have basic knowledge, I would say, then you should wait and understand the process, or understand the basic requirement they are willing to willing from us, that we should have. That you shouldn't be going for there. So yeah, you need to apply to dashboard for clinical assessment, and depending on your date you can sit for your clinical assessment. So now let me talk about what I mentioned earlier, that some of the steps you can do while you are overseas as well, but for some of the steps you need to be physically present in Australia. So let's talk about it a little bit. What I mean by that is that you can complete up to your written assessment while you are overseas, but for clinical assessment you should be present in Australia to sit for your clinical assessment. So basically what does that mean is that when you are gathering your documents and you want to submit it, so it is a online process. You just need to submit all the documents by mail. So for that one you do not need to be present in Australia. And up to your interim certificate also you will get through mail, so you do not need to be here. For written assessment as well, you do not need to be present in Australia. If you are wondering how we will give the exam, then you can sit remotely for the exam. So you will have to remotely sit in the exam, and then you can go for this exam and complete your assessment, which is written assessment. And you do not need to come to Australia for that one. But for clinical assessment you need to come to Australia. Let's say if you don't have visa, then you will have to get a visa and come to Australia and sit for your clinical assessment. So but the good thing is that if you are overseas now and you have time, then you can start to go with these steps up to fourth step. And once you come to Australia, then you will have to just go for your clinical assessment only. And once you complete it, then you can register yourself with AFRA and then start working. So it will save your time and energy and everything. You might have time while you are overseas, but once you come to Australia you might willing to start doing a job or any other commitment you might be willing to go for. So in that way you have a good chance that you can save your time, so that is good thing as well. So this is it. You complete your fifth step, which is the clinical assessment, and let's say you get your result and you have successfully cleared it, then that is a really great news. Now you can go to AFRA and register yourself. If you are wondering what is AFRA, then AFRA is basically a registration body which handle a registration process for all healthcare worker in Australia. So after you get your clinical assessment result and you have passed it, let's say, then you have completed the all steps, and now you can register yourself. You need to submit all the documents to AFRA, and then they will check everything, and then you can get your registration, and then you can start working as a registered physio in Australia. So that was a standard assessment pathway. I hope I have answered all of the questions that you might be thinking, but this is my first video for this pathway, or we can say this is my first video in YouTube. I hope you liked it, and please if you like, please comment down in the comment section, and I hope you would help me by sharing with your friends and subscribing to my channel. Thank you. I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much. Bye bye.